Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is fishing log number 106, and as you can see, I have now moved the leopard danios into the tank for them to breed. They just were added like 5-10 minutes before this shot, and you can see they're quite happy, chasing each other, getting familiar with the new surroundings. And also you can see how fat they got sitting in my breeding tank for the plecos, because an awful lot of food goes into there, and they should start breeding soon. I plan on leaving them in here for probably about 3 days, I think, and then I'll fish them out and we'll see what happens. So hopefully by next week I might have some little slivers of leopard danios to show you. This is again just a few minutes later. The last clip of these guys is going to be a day later, and I want you to watch the males, because the males are starting to spar with each other and trying to lure females into the Java moss. So I think it's all going to happen quite quickly, and then of course I'll just fish them all out. I'm not going to put them back in with the plecos, because it was really difficult getting them out of there. Too many things are in that tank. So this is the shot now. Watch the males sparring. It's really quite cool. It is definitely an indication that breeding will happen. And anyway, I'm going to put them in their own aquarium, give them lots of space. No spawning media, of course, just in case I want to breed them again. And if I end up with like tons of fry out of this, I may just leave them in with some Java moss, just so that, you know, they can get territories and do all that sort of stuff, and I don't get egg bound. So I'm doing actually a lot of work on the fish room this week. I moved the platies over into here. I was noticing they weren't getting as much food as I would like, because they were competing with the adults. So I moved them into here, and even though this was going to be the zebra danio fry tank, they're obviously next door, so that's fine. So I've changed again how I'm doing this. No particular reason. There's a fry right out the middle there, you can see right now. The reason I've chosen is simple laziness. I took the mop out. The wood had sunk anyway, so it didn't really matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in Java moss, and I'm going to rotate the Java moss every couple of weeks, and that's should be giving me enough fry. So that's my new plan. That way I don't really have to do anything other than put them in the tubs, wait for the fry to hatch out, and of course feed them. And as you can see here, this is the new version for my breeding box, and there's a nice big healthy fry right there, and another one you're going to see here in a second near the top. It's doing really nicely. I'm going to reserve this for the later stages, after they've had a chance to fatten up a little bit on some small foods. I think there's a bit too much water flowing through this for to keep paramecia and that sort of stuff in here. So I'm going to leave this for the larger fry. And there you go. It's perfectly happy with this, and it is much better environment than just having them in a tub. So this is finally overflowed. I wanted to let it go to this stage because I wanted to see what would happen with the water. The plan was for it just to fall down the sides, gather into this container, and overflow into the tank. And that's exactly what it's doing. I was worried about there might be a little bit of splashing, but there isn't any. It's a nice curtain, as you can see, going down there. I won't let it go to this stage anymore. I'll just wait till it goes, as I showed you last week, where it was going down the actual overflow. And then, as you can see here, this is going to be the simple process for switching it out, cleaning it. Just pull the pipe out, pop this up, and of course, it's just a simple matter of rinsing out the filter floss. I was very happy with how easy this is to clean. I'm taking my time at this point because first off I'm recording it, but I figure this would take less than a minute to clean. I would just have a little small container, rinse this out, put it back in. Very, very straightforward. And you can see it has picked up an awful lot of mulm, which is nice. I was just not a surprise. That's the thing about this. This is actually pretty much what I would expect. The thing that is working really well, that I am happy about for this, is how well the the Java fern is doing. That is showing that there's enough humidity in there, and that's about the only thing I was concerned about in trying to put this style of filter together, that there would be enough splashing with it. Remember when I first built this, I said I might have to add a little bit of a bubbler into there just to get some water splashing around. I don't think that's going to be necessary at all. So the only thing that's a little odd about this, or difficult, or I'll probably get used to it, let's just put it that way, is finding the hole to put that back in. It's not hard, it's just I have to do it blind, so I'm just doing it by feel, so it takes a few seconds. But notice as soon as it pops down, it starts flowing. So this is excellent. It works well, and I'm very happy with it, so let me know what you think. There you go, it's flowing, and of course the floss is now clean. And the neat thing about it is sometimes when you clean like a hob or even a box filter, the tank gets really dirty. In this case, I couldn't even tell. It was nice. It's newish still, so we'll see how this goes long term. But I'm very happy with this style of filter. So this is my watercress that I picked up that I'm going to use for the aquaponics. I was kind of surprised by how much it grew. This is impressive. So this is like a week, maybe plus or minus a day. I can't remember exactly when I bought this. I'm going to pull it out today, and I want to check for roots, because that is my indicator for moving this out of this and into something more permanent. So it's going to pop it out here. And as you can see, there's going to be a bunch of rotten leaves at the bottom, but I'm going to turn it around here in a second, and you're going to see that it's starting to grow roots. So I have to let this stay in here just a little bit longer, but I'm very happy. This is a great progress. So looking forward to actually growing this. And then, of course, once it gets growing nicely, I want to start harvesting it and seeing, well, the whole point of aquaponics is to grow something to eat. So we'll see how that all ends up. And remember I told you last week that I hadn't done any water changes at all on my pond? Kind of a micro fib, I guess, because I water these things with that. So a little bit of water comes out of the pond into this. But anyway, that's the only water change that the pond gets, is water needs two plants. But anyway, not a big deal. So there you go. That's actually really kind of cool. I'm very much looking forward to that progressing. I want to do something about this. This is doing really, really well. But I want to make some sort of small container on the top, so that, like a nice shallow container with a little bit of soil and water in it, so this will root. I want to see if I can get this to grow consistently out of the water like this. This is the only one that's ever done this, and I would like to try and continue it. So I'm going to try and come up with something like that. Something obviously self-watering. So one other change in the fish room is this. I took this down. This was my daphnia tank. I was growing with hay. The nice thing about the jars is if a jar goes off, all I need to do is flush the jar and fill it up with one of the other jars and mix some water, hay in, and it's good. When a tank like that size starts to smell a little bit, it's an awful lot more work. So I am getting enough out of these guys, so I think I'm going to just continue with that. The other thing I want to do, though, is I want to move these to the other side of the fish room. I'm going to work on where my scuds are cultured currently, and I want to put a platform in there and put all that in that. So just to get it out of this side, leave that area more for experiments and stuff, because that's already been all worked out. And to finish off today's video, I want to talk about these guys. These are some filters I'm building for clients. One of them is actually going to be the one that's going to go into the one for the daycare, the refit I'm doing, and the other is going to go into some other tanks. The reason why I'm showing these is I want to talk a little bit about my last poll where I put up what kind of filters you'd be interested in buying. As it turns out, people are mostly interested in the above tank trickle filters, and unfortunately I've made a mistake in suggesting that one, because these are, well, they're mass produced, if you want to call it that, but basically it is a cycle I can run through, and I can make 4 of them relatively quickly. But once I started seeing the numbers for the trickle filter going up, I started thinking about the process for making them, and it is a lot more involved. And the problem with that is I can't do a run like this. I have to actually custom build each and every one of them, because it has to fit over a specific aquarium. I can't just generically make one and then send it off to somebody, because it may not fit into their particular setup. So unfortunately, that is a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to ignore that, pull, my apologies. What I'm going to do is leave my email below. If anyone's interested in a custom build for a filter, just let me know. Unfortunately, that means it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But then again, the trickle filters weren't going to be cheap anyway. I don't think there's going to be much of a time saving in doing 4 at a time, because again, they're not going to be all the same like these are. So my apologies again. Leave comments, let me know what you think about all that, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.